There are many criticisms of TPP coming from academics, coming from the former Prime Minister and many others. Yeah. Okay, the first thing I want to share with you is that from the government's point of view, we've been able to preserve the Bumiputera policy. A very important component of this Bumiputera policy is government contracts. So in government contracts, we have a set aside of 30% for Bumiputera, which is a government policy. State-owned enterprises, including Petrajaya and all, is 40%. So for government, I want to emphasize here, this is only for the federal government. Yeah, TPP is mainly about, when it comes to government contracts, is solely federal government contract. We're not touching the rights of the state government. So state government is not within the ambit of the TPP when it comes to contracts. Neither does it cover enterprises owned or companies owned by the state government. So state government enterprises owned by state government Sarawak are excluded from TPP obligations. So here is about the federal government. So 30% we're able to, in other words, we'll continue with our policy of providing 30% of contracts to Bumiputras. And when it comes to contracts, we have what we call thresholds. Yeah? For buildings, for example, contracts below 350 million, this is not open to TPP countries. Yeah, you building a clinic or a school, projects costing less than 350 million. Yeah, that's not, I mean, we don't open. But after 20 years, yeah, in the year 20, this goes down to 80 billion. We go to open up. There upside and downside. One, of course, Bumi contractors might feel pressured by this. On the other hand, yeah, we're going to get value for money when you open up. In theory, when you open up contracts to more people, you're going to get value for money. Okay, Petronas, for example, we were talking earlier with Dato Amar Wang Tengah on Petronas. Petronas will be allowed to have 40% of its annual budget for downstream activities. For Bumiputera, SME, Sabah Sarawak, 40%. For upstream activities, that's a transition. We begin with 70% to be opened up to foreign participation, and after 5 years, this goes down to 40%. Of course, we need to discuss further with the state government and other parties to have more clarity on this obligation. One major issue is the price of medicine. There are many people throughout the world, not just in Malaysia, who say with TPP there will be a big increase in the price of medicine. There's one member of parliament who says now a drug to treat high blood pressure costs about 200 ringgit. With TPP it's going to go up to 2,000 ringgit. And naturally people are alarmed by this kind of statement. And in our view, this is irresponsible. TPP does not change our patent laws. Our current laws provide protection for 20 years. If you register a patent for a drug, you are provided protection for 20 years. Yeah? And TPP does not change that period of protection. We have to change that period only if there are unnecessary delays in approving that patent application. And in our system, there's not been, we do not delay things unnecessarily. In other words, we've been very efficient in processing these patent applications. Therefore, the question of patent terms being extended beyond 20 years does not arise. And for that reason, in our view, there's no basis to say that drugs will go up because of TPP. But of course, yeah, there are many other variables. There are many other factors which determine the price of a drug. Cost of transport, the margin enjoyed by the supplier. But on account of TPP alone, we are of the view that TPP will not result in the increase in price of drugs. And in terms of data protection, yeah, we give what we call for small molecules. These are what we call other than biologics. We at present, since 2011, we give protection for 5 years, data exclusivity. This is protected. And what we do under TPP is for what we call biologics. These are new drugs, non-chemical drugs. We also provide 5-year data exclusivity protection. Another issue which is controversial is the issue of ISDS. This investor-state dispute settlement, whereby private companies can sue foreign governments. Yeah? So this is very controversial. Our reply to that is that we already have this provision. We have 74 bilateral investment treaties where our companies can sue foreign governments where foreign companies can also sue the Malaysian government. So this is nothing new. TPP does not introduce a new provision called ISDS. ISDS is already there in 74 bilateral investment treaties. Yeah? What we have done under TPP is to include a number of safeguards. These are some examples in the past where two Malaysian companies have sued foreign governments. So this is nothing new. In the year 2004, MTD sued the government of Chile for breach of contract. In the year 2004, also, Telecom Malaysia sued the government of Ghana for breach of contract. So this is nothing new. ISDS has been a feature for many, many years. It's part of our bilateral investment treaties. And similarly, our companies have sued foreign governments. Some foreign companies, or two foreign companies, have sued the Malaysian government. One, a person called Philip Bruslin, he sued the Malaysian government when we imposed currency controls in 1998, and another company sued the Malaysian government over a dispute in the retrieval of some artifacts of in the Straits of Malacca. What we have done under the new ISDS in TPP is to put in place a number of safeguards. Firstly, there should be 6 months compulsory consultation. Those days, under the present regime, you have a dispute, you go straight to arbitration. Under ISDS, you are required to do consultation for 6 months. And a very important provision is that when there is a dispute over any provision, interpretation of any of the chapters in TPP, it is the interpretation by the TPP Commission, not the arbitrator, which shall prevail. Okay? So TPP Commission is comprised of all the TPP countries. There are 12 of us. Each one of us will appoint a few people to be in the Commission. In the event there is a dispute on any provision in any chapter, in one of 20 chapters in TPP, the interpretation by the TPP Commission shall be binding, not the interpretation by the company or by the lawyer fighting for the company. Yeah? And hearings are going to be transparent. At present, some hearings are very opaque and not very transparent. The other fear is there will be an influx of foreign labor. Yeah, you have students studying in UNIMAS or UiTM telling me asking me what's going to happen when TPP comes in force. Yeah? The labor chapter is about improving the welfare of workers. Yeah, it will not change our policy on foreign work. This is a domestic policy matter. Yeah, TPP does not interfere in our domestic labor policy when it comes to employment of foreign workers. Yeah, and the entry of foreign workers is still subject to domestic laws and regulations. Yeah, according to the PwC study, yeah, the TPP is supposed to add another 1 to 2 million job opportunities by the year 2027. The other issue of concern to a few people would be SMEs. These are small medium enterprises. We have 645,000 of them throughout the country. There's 40,000 in Sarawak, small medium enterprises. And SMEs are in manufacturing, some in services, some in agriculture, some in oil and gas. Our reply to that is that our SMEs, many of them, the market is already open. Yeah? Now, the market is already open to foreign competition. ASEAN, for example. SME products coming from Thailand, or Brunei, or Philippines are entering the Malaysian market. Many of them enter the Malaysian market duty-free. So in our view, TPP will not add that much additional pressure on TPP, on SMEs. Having said that, we are of the view that the government will come up with some robust programs, capacity building programs, in order to ensure that our SMEs will be able to compete. It's not only about SMEs, foreign SMEs coming to Malaysia, but we should be talking also about Malaysian SMEs going out to export the products. Yeah? When we look at anything, we sometimes look only from the point of view of people coming to Malaysia. There is also this other side of the coin, which is Malaysian companies having an opportunity to venture into foreign markets. So that's the other dimension of TPP. Yeah? It's not just about foreign SMEs coming to Malaysia. It is also about Malaysian SMEs penetrating foreign markets. Yeah? We have, for the first time in any trade agreement, we have a dedicated chapter on small medium enterprises. This has never happened before. Chapter 24 on small medium enterprises. This is to support the growth of SMEs by enhancing the ability to participate and benefit from the opportunities created by the TPP.